All right, let's dive in. Today we're exploring 12 universal spiritual laws.
Sounds intriguing.
It is. We'll be pulling insights from this text. Know the truth about 12 universal spiritual laws is a miracle.
Okay, and what's the angle here?
Well, this text presents these laws as fundamental forces that guide the universe. Not just suggestions, but actual forces.
Like a blueprint for reality.
Exactly. It's like peeking behind the curtain of existence. You know me, I'm all about that.
Always up for an adventure.
Right. And I think understanding these laws can really shift our perspective, give us a new lens to view our everyday life.
It's that deeper meaning we're always searching for.
Totally. And what really struck me is this idea that we're not just isolated beings running around.
We're part of something much bigger.
Exactly, like threads in a giant cosmic tapestry.
Love that image.
Right. And that's where this first group of laws comes in.
Mhm.
Interconnectedness, vibration, and action.
The foundation of it all.
It feels that way, right? Like how everything works at the most basic level.
Definitely. So where do we start?
Well, how about with the Law of Divine Oneness?
Okay, lay it on me.
Basically, it says that everything in the universe, from the tiniest particle to the largest galaxy, is interconnected.
Okay, I've heard of the butterfly effect, but this sounds even bigger.
It is. It's like saying that my choice to have cereal instead of toast this morning could have some ripple effect on, like, the other side of the world.
Whoa, now I'm rethinking my breakfast choices.
Seriously. But think about it this way. Every thought, every action we take creates this ripple that extends outward. It impacts the whole.
So even something small like smiling at a stranger.
Could set off a whole chain of positive events that we can't even imagine.
That's powerful. It really highlights how we're all connected to something much greater than ourselves.
Absolutely. But if everything's connected, how does that connection actually work? Does it have a form?
Good question.
Yeah.
That's where the law of vibration comes in.
Ooh. Okay, tell me more.
So this law states that everything in the universe vibrates at a specific frequency. Nothing is actually still.
Wait, so like my desk, my computer, this microphone are all vibrating, even though I can't see it.
Exactly. And it's not just physical objects. This applies to thoughts and emotions too.
Interesting. So when I feel joy or anger or even sadness, those feelings have a vibrational frequency.
Exactly. And that frequency can be sensed not just by you, but by others too.
I've definitely walked into rooms where you could feel the tension and others where the energy is just joyful.
Exactly. Like we're all transmitters and receivers of this invisible energy.
It's kind of mind-blowing, but does simply feeling or thinking something actually lead to any real change?
Getting to the heart of it, that's where the law of action steps in.
So it's not enough to just think positive thoughts.
Exactly. This law emphasizes the importance of taking action to make those intentions a reality.
So thoughts and feelings set the direction, but actions actually propel us forward.
Precisely. Like, what's that saying? Vision without action is just a daydream.
And action without vision is a nightmare. You need both.
Absolutely. Think about a recent goal you achieved. What actions helped you get there?
Good point. Makes you realize there were probably moments where taking action sooner would have helped.
Maybe. It's a good thing to reflect on.
For sure. So we have this interconnected, vibrating universe, and we play an active role in shaping it through our actions.
It's a pretty incredible picture. What else do these universal laws reveal?
Well, the next group dives into some more reflective aspects, even karmic aspects of how all this works.
Oh, that sounds fascinating.
It is. We'll get into how our inner world is reflected in our external experiences and how our actions create ripples far beyond the immediate moment.
Can't wait to hear more.
It really makes you think twice about the choices we make, huh?
It does, yeah. And, it brings us to a law that shows how our inner and outer experiences are totally linked. The law of correspondence.
Oh, yeah. As above, so below, as within, so without.
That's the one. It's a really ancient idea.
I've always felt like it holds a big truth, but I'm not sure I totally get it.
Well, it's found in a lot of spiritual traditions, and it basically says that what we see externally is just a reflection of our internal state.
Okay, I think I'm following.
So, like, if your thoughts and emotions are kind of chaotic, your outer world might reflect that.
Oh, interesting. So maybe that's why I feel overwhelmed by clutter in my house. It's reflecting what's going on in my mind.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's not about judging yourself, though.
Right.
It's more about using that connection to be more self-aware.
And maybe even grow from it.
Exactly. By looking at those inner patterns that might be causing the chaos outside, we can create a more harmonious reality.
So it's not just about organizing my desk, it's about creating order in my mind, too.
You got it. But hold on a sec. If our outer world reflects our inner world, does that mean we're responsible for everything that happens to us?
That's a good question. Like, what about stuff that seems totally out of our control?
Right. Well, there's another law that helps explain how our actions and experiences are connected. The law of cause and effect, sometimes called karma.
Oh, okay. So, like, what goes around comes around.
Kind of. But it's not about punishment.
Okay, okay.
It's about understanding that our choices have consequences, not just for us, but for everyone and everything around
It
them.
all connected, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It encourages us to make choices that really match our values, you know,
Hmm.
and choices that are good for us and everyone else.
That makes sense. So does that mean we're always rewarded for good deeds and punished for bad ones? Like, is the universe keeping score?
That's where the law of compensation comes in.
Okay, tell me about that one.
It basically says that the universe is fair and will always be compensated for what we do, but not always how we expect.
So it's not as simple as do good, get good.
Nope. It's more like recognizing that the energy we put out into the world will come back to us in some way.
Interesting. So maybe it's not about expecting a specific reward, but trusting that things will balance out in the end.
Exactly. The compensation might come in ways we don't expect.
Like,
Could be a lesson we learn, a chance meeting with someone, or even strength we gain from a difficult experience.
wow, okay. That's a different way of looking at things.
It really encourages us to act with integrity and compassion, knowing that the universe has our back, even if things don't always go as planned.
It's kind of comforting in a way. So if there's this cosmic balancing act happening, does that mean everyone's destined to live the same kind of life?
That's a really interesting question. And it takes us to another group of laws that deal with how energy transforms, the power of perspective, and how duality is a part of life.
Ooh, sounds like we're getting into the deep stuff.
We are.
It really is amazing to think about how connected everything is and how these laws kind of guide the whole dance.
It really is a beautiful tapestry. So, speaking of energy, there's a law that shows how it can transform, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy.
Okay, that sounds intense.
Well, it says that energy is always moving and changing form. But the cool part is that higher frequency energy can actually transform lower frequency energy.
So, like, positive vibes can actually counteract negative energy.
Exactly. If we focus on things like love, joy, and gratitude, we can actually raise the energy level around us.
So, it's not just about feeling good, it's about actually impacting the world around us.
Exactly. It's like, you can't have darkness where there's light.
Right. It's like we can choose to be a source of light instead of getting stuck in the negativity.
Exactly. But, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows.
True. How do we deal with the tough stuff? Does this law mean we should just ignore those difficult emotions?
Good question. And that brings us to the law of relativity.
Okay, what's that one about?
Well, it basically says that everything we experience is neutral. It's our perception that makes it positive or negative.
So, something that seems like a huge problem to me might be no big deal to someone else.
Exactly. It all depends on our beliefs, our past experiences, and even our mood at that moment.
So, whose reality is right?
Well, that's the point. There's no one right reality. We're all experiencing life through our own unique lens.
It's like, don't compare your struggles to someone else's highlight reel, right?
Exactly. But does that mean we could just think our way out of any bad situation?
I guess that brings us back to the fact that life has its ups and downs.
It does. And that's where the law of polarity comes in. It says that everything has its opposite.
Light and dark, happy and sad.
Yep, all of that. And those opposites aren't separate. They're actually two sides of the same coin.
So you're saying we need those lows to really appreciate the highs.
It's like the yin and yang symbol. Each side contains a bit of the other.
So it's all about balance.
Exactly. Embracing the whole experience, even the tough parts, because those challenges often help us grow the most.
I can definitely see that. So how do we find that balance when life feels like a constant roller coaster?
That's where understanding natural rhythms comes in. The law of rhythm.
Okay, what's that one all about?
Well, it basically says that everything in the universe moves in cycles. The seasons, the tides, our breath.
So we should go with the flow instead of fighting it.
Exactly. Think about how much better you feel when you work with your natural energy cycles instead of against them.
Makes sense. But what about our creative power? How do we make our dreams happen?
Ah, good question. That's where the law of gender comes in.
Wait, gender? What does that have to do with creating stuff?
Well, it's not about male or female, but more about the masculine and feminine energies that are in all of us.
Oh, okay. Like those classic creative forces.
Exactly. The masculine energy is about action and focus, while the feminine energy is about receptivity and intuition. And we need both to make things happen.
So we need that balance of taking action and being open to inspiration.
Exactly. Now, I can't let you go without talking about a law that's super popular these days, the law of attraction.
Ooh, yes. Everyone's talking about that one. So what's the truth about it?
Well, basically, it says that like attracts like. What we focus on, we bring into our lives.
So if I'm always thinking about negative stuff, I'm actually attracting more of it.
Unfortunately, yes. But the good news is, if you focus on abundance and gratitude, you'll attract more of those things too.
So we really are in control of our reality.
To a large extent, yes. It's about becoming aware of the energy we're putting out into the world.
That's pretty amazing. It's like we all have these magic wands, but we don't know how to use them.
I love that. And that's really what these 12 laws are all about. They're like a guidebook for navigating life.
It's been such a journey exploring all of this with you. From interconnectedness to vibration, action, reflection, compensation, transformation, perspective, duality, rhythm, balance, and attraction. My mind is blown.
It's a lot to take in, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the real fun starts when we put these principles into practice in our own lives.
That's a great point. It's not just about knowing these laws, it's about living them.
Exactly. And, that's what makes this journey so exciting. It's a constant exploration.
Well said. And to all our listeners out there, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope these 12 universal spiritual laws will inspire you to live a more conscious and empowered life.
It's been a pleasure sharing this exploration with you all.
And remember, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those vibes high. Until next time.